Every dietitian is a nutritionist, but not every nutritionist is a dietitian. What does that even mean? Hello, it's your Nutritionist Zaya here, and today we're going to be diving into what is the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist. Now, you may have heard about what a nutritionist is before, or you've heard of dietitians before in blogs, and you might have even heard about a dietitian saying that there's a difference between the two. But let's actually get into what Dietetics is today, and if you would like to see more video content like this, please like and share and leave a comment below. So a quick and easy way I explain this to people is like this. In nursing, there is a difference between a caregiver, a CNA, a CMA, an LPN, and a registered nurse. The same goes for the field of nutrition. The title is based off of education and the scope of practice, aka what jobs you can legally do, and the type of accreditation you may need. So let's get into it. The higher up the ladder you go, the more education and presumably more experience you have received. This is why you hear people say every dietitian is a nutritionist, but not every nutritionist is a dietitian. If this topic really interests you and you're even considering going into this field yourself, because it is a very gratifying field and a fun one to be in, I really suggest you pick up a copy of The Profession of Dietetics. I have this copy of The Profession of Dietetics from when I started dietetics back in 2017, or at least enrolled in school in it in 2017. So yeah, this is the copy I have. You may find one that's a different version of this one. For some people, it's a required weed if you go into dietetics. So yeah, this is the one I have. But personally, I've read this book about 3 times, and it's actually helped me understand like where I fit in the field of nutrition. Personally, I feel like it helped clarify what direction and the path I like to take in nutrition. So if it's something that you might understand or might want to know more to understand, then I suggest picking up a copy of this, or maybe looking into the different programs that they offer for the field of nutrition. The levels in the nutrition field or becoming a nutritional professional go like this. There's a nutritionist, a certified nutrition coach, sometimes called a CNC, a certified dietary manager, sometimes called a CDM, a registered dietitian technician, called a DTR. Then you have the registered dietitian, an RD or an RDN. And I know you peep that I use the word sometimes, or that the same level may have different titles or like letters behind them. In short, just like any other medical field, people can have specialties or receive a particular diploma or certification that may grant them a certain title. So to make it easy for you, here's a quick breakdown of each level. So right above a nutritionist is a nutrition coach. Nutrition coaches have been certified to know at least the basics of nutrition and can legally encourage people to make healthier lifestyle choices. A nutrition coach is not legally allowed to create meal plans or even work beyond nutrition, like entry-level nutrition positions. They have a defined scope of practice in which they are legally required to refer people to a higher level professional if that person's needs are beyond their education. The nutrition coach certification is often paired with other certifications such as personal trainers, or like they're paired with other certifications to be able to supplement someone else's business or services. This is why you see so many like athletic people, like gym gurus, fitness gurus, they go forward and get the nutrition coaching certification. The problem is that, like I said earlier, they do have a defined scope of practice, and sometimes these like fitness gurus, they kind of act out of that scope of practice, specifically in creating meal plans for people that can sometimes be harmful or damaging to that person. And that's why you see these people face a lot of lawsuits, or they get their certifications restricted. So be careful whenever you're seeking out nutrition information from nutrition coaches, and remember that they can only encourage you to have healthier lifestyle choices. They should not be putting you on a strict diet. All right, so next above nutrition coach, we have the certified dietary manager or ServSafe certified manager. There are different certifications at this level, but all of them are to be able to approve you to work with food handling and food safety. A certified dietary manager is educated on the food code, food safety, nutrition science, and can legally work in food management spaces and in food distribution and in medical facilities. To receive this title, you must typically complete supervised practice hours or work under a food manager to have your work experience approved. Many restaurants and facilities help employees receive their ServSafe certification using their on-the-job experience as supervised practice hours. This level of education can vary state by state, but there are a few national certifications such as the ServSafe that you can receive that work anywhere in the US. Many chefs or culinary arts professionals also pursue these credentials. All right, so once you get past being a nutritionist, or you get past being a nutrition coach or a certified dietary manager, the next step up in education or level for a nutrition professional would be the registered dietitian technician. A registered dietitian technician has completed an approved associate's degree or a program detailing nutrition science, medical sciences, food management, food safety, and consulting. This is a license that requires supervised practice hours or an internship before sitting down to take the national exam. You can usually receive your required hours in the program, depending on the type of program, by taking clinical courses or through like other means such as volunteer hours, maybe even working specific jobs or taking on certain dietary internships. They are legally authorized to work beyond the entry level of nutrition jobs and can work in higher level food management. DTRs can also assist in diet orders or creating meal plans and can work in medical facilities. This title is actually one of the rarest in the country, but it is critical to the field of dietetics, and in my opinion, it should receive more recognition. I think the major part about this is that the field itself is actually, the title itself is called Registered Dietitian Technician. So you find this oftentimes in technical programs, and they have to be approved by the Board of Dietetics. All right, so once you get past all that, it brings us to the RDN level. So the registered dietitian, or the RD or the RDN, which you may hear people call the registered dietitian nutritionist, has received a bachelor's degree in an approved program. They've received various types of supervised practice hours, such as volunteer hours or working in food service. They complete an approved internship and complete a master's degree before actually qualifying to sit down for the RD exam. The recent requirement of having to complete a master's degree has sparked a fair amount of controversy in the field, but we'll save that tea for another day. After passing the RD exam, you can apply then for state licensure, which grants you the right to work at any level in the nutrition field without legal repercussion. Much like a doctor can become an MD or specialize in a certain area, the scope of practice for an RD can be broadened by specialties, such as becoming a diabetes educator or working with disordered eating patients. Personally, I am currently in pursuit of my RD. It's something that I aspire to, and I have a lot of respect for them, especially as physicians in the field. A lot of people that go into nutrition eventually have that as an end goal for them. So RDs are very highly qualified people, and they are actually the only people who are legally allowed to provide what we consider medical nutrition therapy, in which we give you a very specific and set meal plan of foods that you are allowed and not allowed to eat, based on your personal body type, your personal body composition, and how you consuming that food in a certain order would affect you. This is why it is so critical for people like nutritionists, nutrition coaches, or even food service managers to refrain from being able to try to give other people specific nutrition advice. You have to be legally authorized and trained in this, because RDs get way more nutrition science education than the rest of us. That was a lot, right? But to be honest, it is a lot to become a nutrition professional, which is why as a society, we should put more respect on their name. So you may be wondering, hey Zaya, why do you prefer to call yourself a nutritionist when you have several food certifications? Well, personally, I do this to avoid legal repercussions. See, it's very easy for a person to accuse a nutrition coach for operating outside of their scope of practice, even when they have additional education and certifications. So in general, I refer to myself as a nutritionist until I can finish my current degree program for my legal safety. That does not mean that I actively go out here and work outside of my scope of practice, but because the nutrition coach certification can be nuanced, I feel like it's personally safer to call myself a nutritionist. That way there's no confusion on my level of what I can and can't do. If you would like to know more about my certifications though and my personal career in nutrition, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any upcoming videos on my journey to becoming a dietitian. If you're intrigued to know more about the field of dietetics in general, comment below that you're here for the tea and more videos, and we can get into a little bit of it. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a great one. See ya. Hey, Frank.